Me being an engineer is part of who I am, but I didn't want to just make devices. I wanted to be able to make a larger impact.
What's really unique about EnMed is the only school in the world that does exactly what we do. Our students earn an MD and a Master's in Engineering Innovation and Medicine in 4 years. And the students are required to have an innovation project, an invention.
One of the greatest challenges that we have in a program like EnMed is finding the right students to bring into our program. We're looking for somebody not just who happens to be an engineer and wants to become a doctor, but somebody who wants to be a physicianeer. That means that they are a doctor who wants to create technologies that solve the problems that they observe in healthcare.
When we're doing the recruiting, we're looking for that evidence that they have that natural passion, that natural inquisitiveness about how things work. How can they make it work better? They like to design things. It's like a personality trait. Basal alias is a great example.
What Basil noticed during his anatomy course, and I think this really illustrates the beauty of what we do, is that he was learning anatomy. He saw this filter in one of the cadavers during anatomy, and he asked, "What is this and why is it there?" And that was explained to him. And he thought, there must be a better way.
I said, okay, well, we can clearly do better than this. My name is Basil Elias. I am a third-year medical student at Texas A&M in the EnMed program here in Houston, Texas. I grew up in Dallas, Texas. My dad's a mechanic. My mom is a phlebotomist at Parkland Hospital. My interest in engineering really started from a pretty young age. Got involved in just making very simple circuits.
Come on, okay, this is my home page for my computer.
Seeing how things worked, fixing either cars or toys or computers that I had at home. And that sort of kind of developed when I got to college. I was a biomedical engineer at UT Dallas. Early in high school, around the time when 3D printers first came out, I saved up my money and bought one. It was pretty pricey for back then. It was about $600, $700, and it was terrible. Nothing really worked really well out of the box. That was many nights of messing with the motors, messing with how level the overall structure was, and also creating my own improvements. I learned really how the device worked. And when you start having an intuitive understanding of from the bottom up of how something works, making it better is intuitive, and seeing the next steps on how to make it better is logical.
The Texas A&M College of Engineering Medicine is turning heads. In its first 5 years, EnMed students have developed about 200 medical devices. Over 24 patent applications have been filed on the most promising inventions, including Basil's. His is an implant to detect blood clots and alert doctors before the clots can harden in the legs or reach the heart or lungs.
It will communicate with the doctor through the patient's cell phone or an alternative mobile device to constantly provide updates and data. How often is this patient throwing blood clots? How large are these blood clots? And using all that data, we can eventually create a personalized treatment plan for the patient. It will alert me as a physician to say, hey, something's going wrong, something's happening. You need to take a look at this patient.
The Smart Clot Detector will enhance a 50-plus-year-old medical technology used on patients prone to blood clotting. It's a wiry netted filter that's placed inside the largest vein in the body, the inferior vena cava, or IVC. It carries blood from the lower body to the heart.
Blood clots can cause major problems. Even though the vena cava filters, the current technology helps with stopping the clots, being able to actually detect when a clot actually arrives there and let your doctor know the dimensions, size of the clot, frequency of the clots, I think is an improvement in healthcare.
After finding an IVC filter in his anatomy class cadaver, Basil learned that the deceased had been on blood thinners and died from a dangerous side effect, bleeding on the brain. His professor explained that patients prone to blood clots often take blood thinners even after they have an IVC filter. The filter alone is far from foolproof.
For me, I said, well, can we make this filter smarter? Can we make it so I can tell you how many clots it's catching? Can I tell you how big are the clots it's catching? Can I tell you how much room do we have left? How much blood flow is making its way past this filter with all these clots in it?
We put these filters in and we have no idea what actually happens to them. Having some idea of when they are active, if you want to put it that way, would be very valuable. We could adjust anticoagulation, we could get the imaging to see, whether it needed an intervention, because we now have multiple ways of actually removing blood clots.
It uses electrodes. You can actually do imaging based on these electrical signals. Having something like this that actually senses something, images it, and then alerts your doctor, that has numerous potential applications. Other vascular applications, potentially in the lymphatic system, other parts of the body. There's a lot of potential here.
I see a time in the future where we're not implanting any devices that are not smart devices.
Dr. Alan Lumsden is the head of cardiovascular surgery at Houston Methodist Hospital, where EnMed students do clinical rotations. In 2007, he co-founded an organization called Pumps and Pipes, where surgeons and engineers trade notes on innovations in their respective industries.
So we do a lot of things to try and surround ourselves with engineers, and this is just another level by which we can engage them in what we're doing in clinical practice on a daily basis.
What do engineers do? They solve problems that benefit society. In medicine, there are innumerable problems. So when you bring these two things together, when you converge and meld and blend them, you produce a new kind of healthcare professional who's trained to solve medical problems for the benefit of humanity.
The Master of Engineering degree that they're getting is actually focused on the design and implementation of medical technologies.
They may be learning about a brain circuit involved in Parkinson's, and then we talk about how you build a device that can actually modulate that brain circuit and treat the effects of Parkinson's disease.
Dr. Andrew Robbins is manager of the EnMed Innovation Center, a 10,000 square foot makerspace where students turn innovative ideas into physical mock-ups.
We have a handful of students that are kind of addicted to the Innovation Center. Basil is one of those.
When he has free time, what's he doing with it? He's not watching movies or going to games. He's in the makerspace, trying to work on his technologies and invent things.
And we have a number of students that are like that. They're here early in the morning or late at night or in between classes. They have an idea and they're able to come and explore that idea with very little friction, very little red tape. They can just go and do it.
EnMed was really helpful throughout the entire process of making this device. We're looking at electronics, computer science, programming, mechanical engineering. And so putting all those all together, the space here at EnMed really is conducive for that. And also the faculty that we have here.
Obviously, we interview a lot of people, and my eyes can always kind of light up if they're a mechanical engineer or a biomedical engineer or something like that, because they bring something above and beyond.
Spending over a year in the hospital at this point, you see there's a lot of shortcomings in medicine, and there's a lot of opportunity. Seeing patients in the hospital and realizing, is this the best we can do? At the end of the day is really what drives me. Being able to take what I had, the skills that I have, to make a difference in not only my life or the patients' lives that I have in direct contact with, but have something a little more farther reaching, maybe affecting people across the United States and maybe even globally.